More on the fishing industry. The Prime Minister and the ministers have repeatedly said we will believe in the Common Fisheries Policy on the 29th of March 2019. For too long now, people have bought this rhetoric. The government must have known all along what the transition period means, especially for the fishing industry. We may officially leave the CFP on that date, but yet we'll reobey entire EU acquis as part of the transition period after the Article 50 officially terminates the UK's membership. We will have effectively left in name only. Basically, this transition period, which the British government implemented, will eradicate the British fishing industry. It's now an unequivocal fact that transition means trapped in obeying all EU law, including the CFP, will become some sort of vassal state. We could be trapped in protracted legal claims for continuity of rights, and the continued CFP threatens what is left of the British fishing industry and its coastal communities. The EU could effectively cull our UK fishing fleet and claim a surplus, so the UK hasn't got a capacity to catch any more fish. We implore the government and the MPs to refuse this transition term and to exempt fisheries from them. It's so clear, and it's something that the Fishing for Leave group has been warning of for months, together with my earlier video mentioning the subject, that this would dig the UK into a Brexit in name only. We would be in a position of neither remaining as a member, as Article 50 terminates, nor leaving, as the term of the transition period says. The UK must obey all new law. So we've created a continuity of rights by adopting all EU law and then agreeing to obey it. But yet we don't know what this new law will be about. The EU could then argue for this is in protracted litigation that would bind us and hamstring the UK for years to come. If we fail to break free from the CFP, the EU will be free to implement policy changes to our detriment. We very much doubt that the EU 27 would feel charitable to their political prisoner, who has then no representation, yet there are abundant fishing waters. A continuation of the ill-conceived EU quota system and discard ban is a threat that could be used to finish what's left of our fishing fleet, allowing the EU to claim the surplus that Britain would no longer have the capacity to catch. Rather than address the cause of discards, quotas, the EU has banned the symptoms, being the discards. Now, when a vessel exhausts its lowest quota, it must cease fishing. Choke species will see vessels tied up early, and according to official government sea fish statistics, 60% of our fleet will go bankrupt. If a sizable portion of the UK fleet is lost, international law says where a coastal state does not have the capacity to harvest the entire allowable catch, it shall give that fish to other states access to the surplus. So we could be trapped in the CFP and its quota system and discard ban for long enough to effectively finish our fleet. Once we have lost our industry, there is no way back from this catch-22. If we do not have the fleet, we cannot catch the surplus, and if we do not have the surplus, we cannot maintain a fleet. We'll have lost a generation and their skills, which are irretrievable. This transition destroys the opportunity for us to repatriate all British waters and resources worth between 6 and 8 billion annually to national control. So the UK political establishment of all hues would not be forgiven for betraying the coastal communities a second time. The government and MPs must refuse this transition, or we will end up by consigning another British industry to museum and memory. Thank you for listening.